Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel. I am the Divine One and I'm bringing you yet another assortment. Welcome back, family. Long time no hear, huh? Look, the beginning of this year has been hectic with work, so this is the soonest I can get back with some content, okay? So I just wanted to wish everybody a very late Happy New Year. I'm on CPT time right now, color people time, so, and yet we press on. We do need to have a real talk about the looming TikTok ban set for January 19th. Let me tell you, this isn't just about data privacy. No, this is about control. Control over our voice, our power, and our bag. TikTok empowered creators and small businesses in ways that corporate America just can't stand. Now we're seeing the Billionaires Boys Club, Zuckerberg, Musk, and their government cheerleaders scrambling to prop up their crumbling empires. Meanwhile, alternatives like RedNote and Fanbase are rising, showing us that when one door closes, another one opens. So grab your tea and let's get into why TikTok has a target on its back, how this is a part of a larger fight against white male mediocrity, and what it all means for you. Because trust me, this is bigger than just one app.
Let him cook now. Let him cook. I said, let him cook.
TikTok is set to be removed from the Apple and Android stores on January 19th. The Supreme Court has spoken, and it looks like everything is about to follow suit. But let's keep it real. Is this about justice? Absolutely not. If data privacy were the only issue, platforms like Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, X, whatever they're calling themselves these days, would be getting the same energy. TikTok, however, poses a unique threat. With 170 million users in the US and millions of small businesses thriving on the app, it's a platform that's empowering everyday people, especially those outside the system's chosen ones. So what happens if TikTok is banned? People will adapt, but not without consequences. RedNote and other alternatives like Fanbase are stepping up, but the transition won't be smooth. Creators relying solely on TikTok for income may find themselves scrambling, especially if they haven't diversified their revenue streams. And here's the kicker. Congress knows this. They proposed delaying the enactment of the TikTok ban for over 200 days, not because they care about the creators, but because they're protecting their own investment. Many of those lawmakers and tech executives have significant financial stakes in US-based platforms like Meta and Snap. The goal isn't to protect us, it's to ensure their bottom line. But why TikTok is under attack? I have two main reasons. Reason number one, financial freedom. Why do you think platforms like TikTok scare them so much? Because they've created a space where people can bypass the traditional 9-to-5 grind and achieve financial independence and build personal wealth. From content creators pulling six figures to small businesses finding new customers, TikTok disrupts the economic hierarchy, and that scares the elites. These aren't just influencers. These are small business owners, artists, educators, and everyday people who found a way to monetize their talent without needing permission from corporate gatekeepers. Let's not forget, TikTok isn't the first app to face this level of scrutiny. Before this, platforms like YouTube and Patreon also disrupted industries by allowing creators to generate income directly. But TikTok's reach and rapid growth made it too big to ignore, especially since it's not controlled by the usual suspects. But let's dig deeper, okay? Because a part of this financial freedom is recognizing the economic reality of corporate greed, okay? So in digging deeper into what this TikTok ban means for the everyday worker, have you ever stopped to wonder why billion-dollar companies like Walmart, like McDonald's, or even tech giants like Facebook are so obsessed with maintaining control over the narrative? It's because they thrive on keeping us dependent. This TikTok ban isn't just about apps, it's about limiting our economic mobility. The billionaire class does not want more people joining their rank. They want to keep you working paycheck to paycheck so you will stay compliant to their system. They want a society where the majority barely gets by while the small elite profits off our labor. We've seen this recently with a heartbreaking example. A worker at a major healthcare company, a multi-billion-dollar corporation, passed away unexpectedly, leaving behind a family and not enough financial resources for a funeral. What did the company do? They sent out a mass email with a GoFundMe link. Yes, a company with executives making millions couldn't provide enough pay or benefits to ensure one of their own could afford a basic burial insurance policy. This is the system we live in. It's not by accident. It is by design. This is why there's been so much emphasis with this incoming Trump administration about implementing Project 2025. Project 2025 limits the digital financial apparatuses for social media, especially if you're an OnlyFans or just for fans content creator, you'll be finding other alternatives that are less explicit. Okay. Also, they're limiting fundings for education, so your children will be stuck in a class system where meritocracy, the last best chance for from economic mobility in this country, will be eradicated. Furthermore, they're doing away with the social safety nets for the lower class in this country. And what does that do? That has you basically living as an indentured servant to whatever billionaire or corporation that will provide menial work and minimum pay. But let's talk about reason number 2. The reason why TikTok is having this issue is that it's not run by a white male. TikTok leadership, a Singaporean CEO, is an affront to the narrative of white male dominance in tech. Platforms like Facebook, run by men like Mark Zuckerberg, have dominated for decades, often failing upward while silencing innovation. TikTok shattered that mold, and they can't handle it. Let's talk about the reason TikTok is under fire. TikTok disrupted the social media monopoly, threatening platforms like Facebook and Twitter, which are dominated by white male CEOs. Elon Musk brought Twitter, X, whatever, to shape narratives, political, social, and cultural. Mark Zuckerberg is over at Facebook dismantling DEI initiatives, claiming to care while pushing policies that screen profit over people. And congressional oversight, please. Congress only pushed the TikTok ban because they assume creators and consumers would flock to Facebook and X. Oh, and a considerable amount of elected congressional and senatorial office holders have enormous amounts of money invested in Facebook, X, and Tesla. Talk about tipping the scales of balance, right? The hypocrisy of American innovation. Now let's address the elephant in the room: racism. Platforms like TikTok, even the up-and-coming RedNote, are often criticized more harshly simply because they're not U.S. owned and their leadership isn't white. Look at the hearings of the TikTok CEO. There was a clear undertone of racial bias in the questioning. Contrast that with how U.S.-based CEOs like Mark Zuckerberg or Elon Musk are treated, and the double standard is clear. It is obvious. Even Fanbase, a black-owned platform, faces challenges not because it's of innovation, but because of the stigma attached to being black-owned. This highlights a broader issue of anti-blackness, not just for external communities, but sometimes from within our own. If we want these platforms to succeed, we need to break free from the psychological barriers that prevent us from supporting our own. Yes, we have to divorce ourselves from the psychological and sociological programming that both consciously and subconsciously prop up the notion that it's not right if it ain't white. It's time to divest from white fragility and white approval concepts. America loves to sell the idea that it's the land of innovation, yet every time a non-white or foreign competitor challenges that narrative, the rules suddenly change. They tell you to bootstrap and grind and pull yourself up and whatever else, but when you do, they're the first ones to block your success. Look at the anti-Chinese rhetoric, the xenophobia around TikTok and RedNote. And don't forget the subtle and not so subtle ways black-owned platforms like Fanbase are dismissed or ignored in mainstream tech spaces and mainstream media. The hypocrisy is clear for all to see. Now, let's talk about what happens when you tell 170 million Americans they can't have something. When the government targets TikTok, what happens? People move. They find alternatives. Enter RedNote, the Chinese-owned app that became the #1 downloaded app in the US overnight. And let's not forget about Fanbase, a black-owned platform designed to put creators first. While RedNote is proving competition is global, Fanbase is showing us that the black excellence in tech is here to stay. But here's the challenge: both platforms are navigating systems designed to undermine their system. From xenophobia targeting RedNote to the anti-blackness bias Fanbase faces, the struggle is real. RedNote, or Chao Zhai Hong Shu, that's the Chinese name, has exploded in the US thanks to the TikTok ban drama. But let's keep it real. It's still a Chinese-owned app. That means it's already facing the same xenophobia and regulatory threats TikTok dealt with. The question is, how will RedNote adapt? They'll need to localize their app, address data privacy concerns, and win over an American audience that's skeptical of anything foreign, except for Elon Musk. Sidebar: I knew Elon Musk couldn't be trusted with the untreated gingivitis on his teeth. The way his teeth looks as if he chews on bricks all day. That's when I knew I couldn't trust him. Okay, how are you a billionaire but your teeth look like you're chewing on baseball bats? I don't know what that is, but yeah, I can't trust him. But I want to take some time to delve deeper into Fanbase, the underrated alternative. Fanbase, created by Isaac Hayes III, is a black-owned platform designed to empower creators through monetization. The model is simple: you create and you get paid directly. No algorithm games, no middleman. But here's the issue: again, the anti-blackness, even within the black community. community, we've been conditioned to undervalue our own. Fanbase isn't just fighting Instagram or YouTube, it's fighting centuries of psychological programming. This is why it's critical for creators, especially Black creators, to support platforms like Fanbase. It's more than just social media, it's a statement of independence. Let's get one thing straight. Competition is supposed to drive innovation. Platforms like TikTok, RedNote, and Fanbase are forcing the tech giants to up their game. But instead of innovating, they're running to Congress crying about national security while using their billions to lobby for protection. This TikTok ban isn't just about one app. It's a test case for silencing platforms that don't align with the status quo. Today it's TikTok. Tomorrow it could be RedNote, Fanbase, or any other platform empowering creators. Now, how does this tie into the bigger picture for Project 25? The TikTok ban is just one piece of a large, very larger puzzle. Have you read the plans outlined in Project 2025? If not, you should. This isn't just about apps, it's about rolling back progress in every area. Our programs, education, worker protection, and yes, digital freedom. It's also about government controlling what you see and what they want you to see. TikTok is not the only casualty this election cycle. Like I said before, OnlyFans and Just for Fans creators, given Project 2025 and the conservative, anal, retentive despots who will be wielding the reins of power, the expectation is that you'll be finding other forms of content to create. Moving right along, we're entering a period where the political, social, and economic landscapes are aligning to benefit the few at the expense of the many. The billionaire class isn't just playing defense, they're on offense. And TikTok is one of their first targets. They won't be the last. The bigger picture, white male mediocrity. Here's what's really happening. They don't want non-white owned platforms thriving because it threatens, again, the narrative of white male supremacy. While it's Mark Zuckerberg who dropped out of Harvard but gets praised as a genius, or Elon Musk who turned Twitter, X, whatever, into his personal playground and literally run a multi-billion-dollar company into the ground. The goal is clear. They want to ensure the system remains rigged in their favor. And let's not ignore the hypocrisy. Zuckerberg tells us education doesn't matter while requiring every senior executive at Facebook to hold advanced degrees. Meanwhile, diverse leaders in tech face unfair scrutiny, and DEI programs are being dismantled left and right. This isn't a coincidence. It's a calculated effort to maintain the status quo. It's performative mediocrity at its finest, and it's time for us to all call it out. And not just to call it out, but to act upon it. And my final thoughts on the situation, the power of collective action. This tick ban isn't just about apps, it's about limiting, again, our economic mobility, okay? And the billionaire class, we see the signs. They want us working paycheck to paycheck.
Keeping a head above water, making a way if you can, temporary layoff.
And it ain't good times. What can we do? For one, stop making it easy for them. You don't have to delete your Facebook account, but take the app off your phone. Use your desktop instead. Do the same for Threads, do the same for, what's the other one? X, Twitter, whatever. When app engagement drops, it hits their pockets. As what we saw today with Facebook, Facebook stock actually went down. What we're seeing now is a flashpoint. From the surging RedNote downloads to the growing interest in platforms like Fanbase, people are waking up. They're tired of being told what they can and can't do by a system that only works for a select few. If we want to fight back, it's going to take more than deleting apps or switching platforms. We need collective action, supporting creators, demanding transparency from lawmakers about their holdings in the stock market, and also the money that they receive through cryptocurrency, and holding tech companies accountable. This isn't just about TikTok. It's about what kind of digital future we want to create. So let's stay loud, let's stay informed, and more importantly, stay ready. Now, what you can do, like I said before, delete apps, not accounts. If you want to hit them where it hurts, delete the app. Like Facebook and Instagram from your phone, engagement drops, ad revenue tanks, and stocks fall. Support alternatives. Platforms like Fanbase and RedNote, for the time being, need our backing. They represent a future where creators hold power. Stay vigilant. The fight isn't just about TikTok. From Project 2025 to corporate greed, the battle for control is ongoing. Stay informed, stay engaged, and keep pushing back. Diversify your platforms. If you're a content creator, don't rely on just one app for your income or community. Stay building a presence on alternatives like Fanbase, like RedNote, or even traditional platforms like YouTube. And vote with your wallet. Stop supporting companies that refuse to invest in their employees or perpetuate harmful practices. If a company is dismantling DEI programs, take your money elsewhere. For instance, Walmart, we saw what happened there. They've got rid of their DEI programs. Facebook, DEI programs gone away. Costco, Home Depot, not so much. So guess where I'll be doing my shopping? Plus, I want to try that $100 Wagyu A5 steak that Costco has. So, I'm not going to do no review because it's going to be too much smacking. Anyway. anyway. And leverage your financial literacy. If you're earning money through content creation, invest it wisely. This is a new money problem right now. You have so many people out there with money they did not have 5 years ago, and they're probably not going to have it 5 years from now because they're not diversifying their assets to secure their future. That way, you don't let sudden platform changes leave you vulnerable. And again, we have to push for accountability. Don't just call out the hypocrisy. Why are foreign-owned apps being scrutinized while U.S.-owned platforms with similar data practices get a pass? Demand transparency and fairness from the lawmakers. This fight isn't just about TikTok or RedNote. It's about creating spaces where we aren't dependent on platforms run by people who don't have our best interests at heart. That's why we need to support alternatives like Fanbase, which is Black-owned, and focus on helping creators monetize their content fairly. Yes, it's small now, but its potential is massive. They're coming for our platforms, our autonomy, our ability to thrive outside of their control. But we have the power to adapt, pivot, and build something better. The question is, are you ready to fight for it? Well, it looks like our time is up. I thank you for making the time to go through it to the end with me. Like, share, and subscribe, please, and thank you.